All right, all right, all right. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Pray you all have had an excellent day and you are off to a great and amazing week. I am Coach Kim Tops with Top Resume Coaches here cheering you on and helping you get to your next level with your resume and career planning tips on Tuesday. And so if you have not had the opportunity to connect with us, we are Top Resume Coaches on all social media outlets. And I am live this evening. Let's see, I'm live on Facebook, live on LinkedIn, and live on the Kim Tops Author TikTok page, and also live on Clubhouse in the Top Resume Coaches room. So I'm gonna give you a second to connect with us, follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Again, we're Top Resume Coaches on all social media outlets. And if you can't stay the whole time, but you're interested in what we have to say, and let me put my disclaimer in this evening. I need you all to share this page and get your young people in here, my college grads, my people that are interning right now. I need you to tag them, to share this post and get them in this room. Tonight is specifically for my new grads because they're talking about y'all on the news and how bad you are interviewing. And so tonight's perspective comes directly from the Fox article, which I will show in just a second. But we are talking about, let me see, I lost my, there we go. We're talking about on this Tuesday, on our resume and career planning tips on Tuesday, new grads and interviewing. You all have made the news. You're trending on social media because it is that bad. And I'm not going to joke and play around with y'all tonight. So just take it in love. Take it in love. Because I'm going to tell you, I have interviewed some of this new generation myself. And I just, I knew you knew that you were interviewing with the career coach, and the name of the company was Top Resume Coaches. Also, been on the recruiting side, on the other side with my corporate companies as well. But recently, I was interviewing for Top Resume Coaches. So you knew you were coming in with the career coach, with a full service career planning and resume writing company. And so I'm going to be honest, y'all, everything that they listed on this Fox article, I have personally seen in the last 6 months to a year. And I mean, my mouth was wide open. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. But welcome to everyone that has joined me live this evening, and we will get started. So first thing I'm going to do, if you can see the article, I'm going to go through one by one, but it was just a screenshot. And I think it posted a couple weeks ago. So I saw it first because I get it really early. So I saw it that morning, but then it started trending. But all of y'all that love me, I guess, y'all started tagging me. So I got all these tags and direct messages and text messages. Did you see this? Did you see this? And I said, I did. And it's so funny because everything on this list I have experienced. So this was a Fox News segment. I don't even remember the day, but the title, it says, during job interviews, employers say recent college graduates have. And we are going to go through each one by one. So I'm going to tell them all to you. I'm going to go through all of them. Then I'm going to go back and go through each one and give you examples and share some tips. So I hope that I've given you enough time to tag in your loved ones, your kids, your nieces, nephews, godchildren, grandchildren in these posts, because you all were tagging me in this because you wanted me to see it. And the beautiful thing is that when we do meet with our young people, we have 2 sessions a year with our parents and our teens. And then throughout the year, I'm invited to come speak at Top Teens. I spoke at a career, what was it called? A careers, Dr. Lakeisha helped me. It wasn't necessarily, well, I guess it was like a career summit, but more like a career connection. And, I had the young people, I had my high school and my college people in the same room. And we talked about everything that is on this list, like literally. And they thought I was playing, and I wasn't, because I had seen this myself. So number one, during job interviews, employees say recent college graduates have, number one, struggle with eye contact. Number two, ask for unreasonable compensation. And then struggle with eye contact was 53%, y'all. That's very high. That's very high. Ask for unreasonable compensation. You know, like you ain't never worked before and you want like a six-figure salary. Like, really? That was 50%. So half of the young people that have interviewed, new college grads, they're asking for top of the line salaries, and they don't have that experience, or that's not the trend in their industry. 47% dressed inappropriately. And I cannot begin to stress how important is your dress is, but we will come back to that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 4, use inappropriate language. Y'all, inappropriate language. Y'all know what that means. The next one, refused to turn on camera during a virtual interview. Refused. I'm not making this up. I had this happen to me twice. And then last, y'all know I'm from Texas. I'm sorry. Y'all brought a parent to the interview. 19%. You can't bring people to the interview with y'all. Okay. So now you know what we're dealing with. Tag your young people. I know everybody knows 5 people that either has just recently graduated, that's entering the workforce, interning right now. I'm telling you all, tag them so they can hear and be a part of this conversation, because I'm going to just say it this one time. And I need these numbers to come down, and I need us as a people to get it together, because this is unacceptable. I don't care what generation, what age group you're in. And if you're doing this and you're not in that category, all of this is, you're just not going to get the job. Like, you're not going to get the job. You do anything that I have called out on this list today. So number 1, struggle with eye contact. Okay. I'm trying to look because I got a bunch of cameras going on. You got to have eye contact. I don't care if you're in person or if you're virtual. I'm going to tell you, if you cannot look me in my eyes, I don't trust you. And I'm not the only person that's like that, right? If you don't give a firm handshake and look me in my eye, we out. And I'm going to tell you all, the average person has made up their mind about you in the first 30 seconds. Before, like as soon as they're laying eyes, we just naturally do it. We've already said this is nope, yes, no. Before you even open your mouth. So if you're not able to look people in their eyes, you're not able to give them the eye contact, you're not able to give a firm handshake with the correct hand, out. You out before we even got to the first question. And if this is an issue, you got to practice. So my parents, grandparents, godparents, aunts, uncles, you all that tag me in these posts, y'all got to practice these things with your kids. We should not be getting to a college interview and not have practiced our eye contact. For example, I had a young lady. She had a really good resume. She was an engineering student, smart, decent resume. I had to make minimal changes on her resume. And she just kept saying, man, I just don't know why I can get the interview, but I can't get the job. I can never get the offer. So one of the professors at the University of Houston, because, this is how my business got started. I was working with the students at U of H before the pandemic, and they the ones suggested that I should have this company and open it up. And we 3 years in, getting ready to be, 3.5 in a few weeks. And that's how we got started. And so the professor recommended the young lady to meet with me. And I said, okay, we're going to hop on the Zoom. Let me see your resume. Let's see your resume. But more important, let me see what you're doing in the interview. So, I just asked her like maybe 2 or 3 questions just to see what it is. Because I knew when she told me, she was like, she wasn't getting an offer. I knew it was her interviewing skills. And It was her interview skills. First of all, she was not looking directly in the camera. Her camera was down. Felt like she did the last one, brought a parent to the interview because her mom kept walking through the hallway. And every time her mom walked through the hallway, I wrote it down. I said, oh, ticker here, ticker here, ticker here. Because I notice everything. Like, I don't care if we're in person or virtual, I see it. Her lighting was bad because this was we were on a Zoom. She was doing a Zoom interview. But the way her camera was positioned, I could see how she was holding on to the arm of the chair. The blood was not circulating up her arm. Like her arm was white. Like she was that nervous. She was holding on that tight, y'all. All bad, negative signs for me, right? And then after I finished asking, I just want to ask maybe a few questions just to get to see, because you can't tell what people are doing until you put them in that pressure, right? You put them in the box, ask the tough questions and see how they respond. Then you can provide feedback. Because it wasn't her resume. Her resume was halfway decent. I probably had very few suggestions on her resume. Y'all, I shared with her what she was doing. And I had recorded the session too, so then she could see what I saw. And she made those changes. She said, she just couldn't believe. She said, nobody has ever said any of this to me, like ever. And so she went from getting 0 job offers to almost picking from at the end. By the time she corrected all those, and we corrected half of it while I was on the call with her. We readjusted her camera. She went and bought a ring light so I could see her. She turned her camera and her computer up against a white wall or up against a wall so that I didn't see her mom walking through the hallway. And she ended up getting 6 job offers. At that particular year, the starting salary for engineering was $95K. All of her offers were $95K and up just by making those adjustments. So can I tell you again how important it is to get the eye contact? And if you are watching me on Facebook and LinkedIn, I am looking directly in the camera. TikTok, I am looking directly in the camera, and you can see the difference, even as you see my eyeballs go up and down. But look directly in the camera. And if you are in face-to-face with someone, look them directly in their eyes. Don't do an awkward stare like this. You got to blink. You got to practice. It has to be natural to you. And if you struggle with eye contact, join Toastmasters. And if you need a club, I belong to a great club. We meet virtually. So no matter where you are in the world, we meet virtually and we meet every week. Yep, I was getting ready to get it wrong. Toastmasters.org. And if you are on Facebook and LinkedIn, I am going to put the link in the chat. And if somebody is in TikTok, Gary, can you put in the chat Toastmasters.org with the S? This will help you work on your eye contact in person, virtually. You have to nail this skill down. I don't care what you're doing. This will impact your career, and I am not surprised to see the very high number. Now, if you are being interviewed and they ask you to turn on your camera and you don't, bye. Y'all, I was interviewing for a virtual assistant, and she came to the interview. Now, if this was during the pandemic. Well, I was still working at home. I don't know necessarily if it was during the pandemic or not, but I was still working at home. And wouldn't turn on the camera. Well, I'm not. Oh, so you're not prepared. That's what that means. You're not dressed. Your hair is not combed. You're not ready. That means you're not ready. And y'all, I will never forget. There was probably the first 30 days in the pandemic, and our deputy director had a meeting, and he got on a call, and he was like, "I need everybody to turn on everybody," and it wasn't like an option. Either you turned on your camera, or you could probably suffer some consequences later, because he was the deputy director over our group. And y'all, when people turn on their cameras, we have folks in the bed, people's hair sticking up, folks were laying out, people not in the right places. I mean, it was a complete mess. Folks looked like they were just, on their last breath. I mean, it was horrible. I was in awe when people turned on their cameras. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm not that one. I'm photo ready, video ready, camera ready, interview ready all the time. Now, during the pandemic, I may have just been cute from the top up, And I may have on some yoga pants and the tennis shoes, but unless you ask me to stand up, baby, I'm dressed. I am ready to go. And even when I remember I was interviewing and I had lost my job, and people's like, oh, you got to go home and change clothes. No, I had my interview suit is in the car, complete attire in the car. I am ready to go. And so when you don't have to, you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And so I can't stress that enough. And even if you're currently working, make sure you're camera ready is what I'm going to say. And because you never know when you may be asked to turn on your camera. And if you are leading a meeting, you are leading the meeting, you are talking and your camera's off. Again, it's all about how you show up. It's all about how you present yourself. And you got to stop half doing that. And everything on this list is half representation. It's not having the personal brand, not caring about your brand. Dressed inappropriately. Y'all, during this wave of interviews, I when I got to I had one person didn't want to turn the camera on. Then I had a second person. She came to the interview with a hoodie on, a complete hoodie. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And I went on ahead and did the interview. But as soon as she turned her camera on, the interview was over in my mind. It was a no, a big no, a capital no. No, ma'am. I was interviewing for a virtual assistant, and you're going to come to an interview, turn your camera on with a hoodie on, and the hood was on. Like the hood, she had the hood on, I could not do anything but laugh. But because we are, one of our companies is a resume and career coaching company. And I know, TW, look, I know, but I felt like I owed her the explanation. And I told her, you're not going to get this job and any other job because of the way you're dressed. And let me tell you what was funny. She was probably the best candidate that I interviewed that day. But she was inappropriately dressed. And that was a no for me. Sorry. I didn't care how good you were. Because I can go train somebody that's dressed appropriately, that can speak correctly, that can articulate themselves and show up correctly. Then I know not only can you represent me in excellence, but you can represent yourself. So it was a no. Now, inappropriate language. The inappropriate language that I have experienced has just been people just being just maybe a little too comfortable, or just that's how they talk. Every other word is a bad word. Y'all, you cannot use profanity, bad language. And look, TW is in here in my chats tearing it up. Ghetto. I mean, it was even beyond that, right? You cannot use inappropriate words and use inappropriate slang during a professional interview. I don't care if it's a phone interview, a Zoom, a virtual interview, or in person. It is inappropriate. So if you are talking to the person or persons or the panelists like that, guess what's going to happen if they hire you? You're going to be talking to the team and employees like that. You're going to be talking to their clients like that. You're going to be using profanity and cussing out their clients. Y'all, no. Oh, and we already, TWR, we missed the first part. Huh? We already talked about the dress. You just can't. We talked about refusing to turn on your camera during a virtual interview. Oh my goodness. But bringing a parent to the interview, 19% of you all are doing that. And I don't even know how they got these numbers. But it's true. It's accurate, right? So this was another day of interviews because, I was done after the hoodie. One girl didn't turn on the camera. The next one was a hoodie. It was all too much in one day. So we, go day 2. We're all optimistic, ready to go. I'm asking the young lady questions. She couldn't answer the questions. Y'all, and her husband was like, he started answering the questions for her. Now I couldn't see him, but I could hear him. And then he decided to walk in front of her camera. Like, look, tell her this. I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. Yeah, I'm not making this up. I recorded it. It was terrible. You cannot bring other people to your interview. It's unprofessional. If you are in person, you get a ride, drop them off, but you got to go because we're not interviewing your parent. We're not interviewing your husband or your significant other or your dog or your cat. Yo, put them animals in another room. That is unprofessional. And I'm a bird mom, y'all. I have a bird. My bird can talk. He sings. But when I'm recording live, I'm in interviewing a meeting, he's in another room with the door closed. And all of this is stuff our kids should know. So parents, take y'all kids, share this recording with them. This won't never go down. It'll be up on our YouTube channel. Give me 24 hours. But these are no-nos. Any questions? I've gone through the list, and this was survey taken by intelligent.com, December 2023, of 800 employers, the people that are hiring, that are young adults, youth, college grad. Y'all, they got a degree. They went to somebody's university that has a career college and placement office. Get in the office. Can't find it? Go to topresumecoaches.com, hit the get started button. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Got all kind of tips and recordings and videos and how-tos and what not to do, what to do, how to show up, interview and resume writing. Oh, I missed one. God, I don't even know how I missed this one. This is the second one. Ask for unreasonable compensation. Y'all, let me tell you something. You don't have any experience. You don't have any experience. You never even interned. You have no job on your resume at all. You can't go in asking for $100K. You just graduated from college. This is the first degree. You must know your worth. But you also got to have some experience to back that up. And if the only thing you've taken is a calculus class or a class in marketing, you can't go in a marketing firm asking them for 6 figures. You don't have no experience. And some of you all got really good experience, but you may not have a degree, but you already got the experience. But new grads, some of you all didn't even do well on your senior projects. You can't go in there asking for that. Exceptions, undergrad degree in engineering is an exception. Starting salary for engineer is still right about 95, 97K. But that's if you had an internship, a co-op, a senior project that's relevant to work experience. But if you don't have no experience, it makes no sense to go in asking for something that's unreasonable because you can go to all these various sites, 1tonline.org, Glassdoor, and you can look and see what the starting salary is. And now the majority of the states have a law that you have to show ending and starting salary. But if you're already talking about the salary and we just on this phone screen, wrong time. You got to get the job. You got to let me make you an offer before you can negotiate. But coming in, being unreasonable, and this is not for my seasoned employees, 5 years and up. This is for my people. You just graduated from college. Or you're in your internship opportunity right now. And I agree, everything on this list you should know because you should have a parent, an aunt, top teens, Jack and Jill. You should, if y'all have not invited me to come speak at your things, you need to invite me. Me and my team will come. And if we can't get there, we'll do it virtually. But I know I've had these conversations with 3 different other youth organization groups. Y'all, your youth director. I used to be a youth director at my church. I was youth director for 5 or 6 years. Y'all got to be talking about stuff like this. We have to prepare our young people. Our young people are the future. They are the next generation. And I was disturbed when I saw this post. But when I looked at it, I said, I could check off every last single one of them because I had experienced them all, including someone asking me to pay them like 3 or 4 times as much than what I had listed on the job requisition. Like, you ain't had no experience. I don't even know what you can do. Then I turn around and I ask you to do something for me during the interview that's live, and you can't even do it. You want to come in as the director of marketing, and you've never worked a day in your life. I'm sorry, that ain't happening. Not unless your daddy, your mama own the company. And even then, some of them make you start in the mailroom because you need to understand the business. You need to understand the opportunity. You need to understand the culture, right? So we can talk about this all night. We got a lot of work to do with our young people. Is the first thing I want to say. But we got to take the time out and invest in our children, invest in our youth, having the conversations. You know, I spoke at a career day just a few weeks ago, right before school was out. And I kept thinking, man, if I had had a career coach to come in and talk to me, I had an African-American woman engineer come talk to me when I was in middle school. Yeah, I didn't see my first engineer until I was in college. Especially the first one that looked like me, not until I was in college. Earlier this year, I was a keynote speaker for elementary school. Those kids probably had a lot better grip on the reality of what they wanted in a career and how not to act and what to do. And we got to work on our social skills, right? You know, I have a nephew that Peter never wants to look people in their eye. And that's the thing we're always working on. You know, he'll say, words like you're 17. You're getting ready to be a senior in high school. Open your mouth and talk. I don't know. I'm not going to even look at you because I don't want to see your ask a question. What is that? Y'all, I'm not making this stuff up. Intelligent.com survey, December 2023, 800 employees. And I'm overwhelmed because that is a large pool, but I had every last single one of these happen to me in the last 6 months. Getting ready to start a second round of interviewing. I'll report back and let y'all know how that goes and see how many of these that my potential interviewers struggle with. And the best thing to do is to practice. Practice. My mock interview ain't no joke. You can ask one of my clients. She had an interview today. I know she went in there and killed it. I can't wait to see. Because I know they're going to offer her whatever she's worth. They're going to give it to whatever she asked for, they're going to give it to her. Because that's how prepared she was going in this interview. And we have to get our kids prepared. Toastmasters, again, is a wonderful organization to help you work on your eye contact, to work on your dress, to work on using correct language, to turn your camera on. But we must work on these. Questions, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn. Questions. And I'm going to tell y'all, as much as I love to work out, if I would have came to this live session today in my workout clothes that I had on when I was doing my AM motivational walk with Coach Kim, with my workout clothes and my tennis shoes, my tights and my leggings and stuff, y'all would have been looking at me like I was crazy. Like she a coach or what? And this is the best advice I can give you. Dress for the role that you want next. I don't care where you are in your career. If you're starting off, getting started, dress for the role you want next. Game changing. You want to be taken serious? You want to be a leader? Turn the camera on. Unless they say don't turn your camera on, right? Turn the camera on. Game changer. But when you go into an interview, expect the camera to be on. They want to see you. They want to see if you fit in. They want to see if you fit in the culture. They want to look you in your eyes. They want to make sure it's you they're talking to. Jayla. Next slide. Go to topresumecoaches.com. Hit the get started button. And we can drop in a session and I'll show you how to do QR code and schedule a complimentary 15 minutes. It'll take me 15 minutes. I can show you that in 2 minutes. But yes, once you have an experience, then you can negotiate your salary. But get your foot in the door. And probably have video out there on YouTube too, but would love to check. And I think this is a Jayla that I know. It may or may not be on it. But that was a good question. Any other questions about what we talked about tonight? So we got work to do. Again, if you need help, you can visit our website or go to topresumecoaches.com or scan the QR code and schedule a 15-minute review. Complimentary. So we shared a lot this evening. I am confident that when they redo this survey, that we will have better results and the numbers won't look so bad. And because a lot of the things that may be common sense to us may not be so common or untaught to this next generation, but we as leaders, as parents, aunts, uncles, godparents, youth leaders, youth directors, we're either going to take the time out to do it or bring in those persons that can. But we want to make sure that our students are prepared, and that starts. All right, our time is far spent. Thank y'all so much for joining in. It is always my complete and absolute pleasure to spend my Tuesday evening with you with your resume career planning tips with Coach Kim and top resume coaches as we help you get to your next level in your career. And we are here if you need us. And of course, we are in the background cheering you on. And if you all have another topic that really bothers you, you want to tag me in, be happy to entertain it. You all have a terrific Tuesday, and we will see you next week. And next week we'll be back at our earlier time. We're normally at 8. I had a board meeting this evening in person because, again, is the importance of showing up and stress that. And so we were able to push this out a little bit so that we could still dive into this conversation. But now we know what we need to work on. And if we need our assistance, please don't hesitate to contact us. Coach Kim, signing out. Y'all have a good evening.